Welcome to Aftertaste, your source for honest reviews on LA's dining scene. I'm Vlad, a chef and cook with 15 years of experience. My journey in LA started working for Jose Andres at the SLS Hotel, before taking the helm of Petit Trois with Chef Ludo Lefebvre. Now, I'm a private chef. I love seeking out new dining experiences, especially with my partner Nicole, who loves to eat and cook as much as I do. Ever since we've met, we've loved going out to eat. On our podcast, we're bringing you our perspective on those experiences in the city of food that we love. So get ready to dig in and join us for your next meal.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Aftertaste LA. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Vlad.
And this week, we'll be discussing our meal at Alba in West Hollywood. So why did you want to go to Alba?
Super buzzy and really, really popular. It just opened in February, and I hear people talking about it. I've seen it on Instagram. The New York location, which is their first location, super, super popular Italian food. Very, very kind of quintessential Italian restaurant. And when there's a new one in LA, I'm always going to want to try it because I love Italian food.
Yeah.
It's my favorite food to cook. And I love pasta, and if there's a new restaurant making pasta in town, I want to see what it's all about. A, I want to see if they make better pasta than I do. And B, I want to see if they make better pasta than some of the best pasta places in LA. There's really good pasta in LA. You just have to know where to look. So walking into Alba, what were your first impressions?
First of all, I hadn't seen any pictures or anything, so I was really going in cold. I knew it was Italian, didn't really know more than that too much. So walking into the first area that you walk into is this open courtyard, or almost like an indoor-outdoor courtyard, because it has a retractable roof and it's surrounded on all four sides by other buildings. So it's kind of an interesting place. So loud was one of my first impressions. It was very loud in there, dark. Not super easy to see. You know, I could tell there were some design choices in there, like cool decor and like, you know, a nice pink and white color scheme. Though with the darkness, it was really hard to see that. And I was actually kind of bummed about that because I think it would have lent a little bit more to the atmosphere and like the vision for me.
Yeah, I didn't even fully realize it was outdoors. Right when we walked in, I didn't look up. I looked up once we sat down. I was like, oh, we're outside.
Yeah.
And we could be inside. If they closed that thing and had some more lights, it probably would have brightened the room up. But it was bustling. It was busy. The people were there were lively, having conversations, having a good time. It felt like a scene.
It kind of felt like, you know, buzzy bars that I've been to.
Yeah, definitely felt... This is a party atmosphere. We want people loud. We want people drinking. We want people laughing.
Definitely drinking.
Yes.
Not that they push it or anything, but it's very available. They have a huge bar. They can make you anything you want. I mean, that's basically what they told us when we sat down. Yeah,
they're inviting you to kind of order what you want. This was definitely very West Hollywood. West Hollywood, Beverly Hills... you know, glitz and glam type of a restaurant atmosphere.
It's the kind of place that you want to go to right before you hit the clubs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get your drinking base in, get some nice drinks to get the night going. Not cheap, but nice.
No,
and,
it was also West Hollywood, Beverly Hills prices here.
Yeah, and then head out to your to your bars and your all-night clubs.
I think it's fair to say this isn't typically the type of restaurant that you and I would choose to go to based on the food and the overall atmosphere. We're definitely not the clientele they're looking for. From everything I've read about Alba, LA, they were really going for this Roman holiday, Italian vacation vibe, but they still wanted it to be elegant. You know, it's still white tablecloth, the server captains are in suits. The host was wearing a suit. The bussers and all the other support staff are wearing these really, really nice custom aprons with white button-down shirts. So everything felt a little glitzed up, a little elegant, even though the atmosphere in the outdoor courtyard felt a little bit more casual. It was kind of a mix of the two. Very LA. And I liked the music. It was very wedding music. I heard a lot of like Earth, Wind, and Fire and stuff like that. So where we were sitting right in the middle of that courtyard, directly behind us were these cabana style seats that I thought were really awesome. There was a big group in one and there was a couple in the other one. Kind of reminded me of daybed at a swanky pool in a hotel, the way that it was set up, but instead of daybed, it's tables and you just have dinner there. It was nice. I would like to go there with a group and have that seat. It looked pretty comfy.
That would be fun for like a birthday or something.
Yeah.
And off what you were saying about the like swanky cabanas, there was a line in the Infatuation review of this place that called it Caesar's Palace-esque, which it kind of feels like you're at the pool at Caesar's Palace. That's so accurate. Just to be clear, they did note the one in Vegas, not in Rome.
Yeah, definitely the one in Vegas. They really do have kind of a Vegas vibe. This would be great in Vegas. I think Alba would thrive in Vegas. It's a very, very Vegas type place.
I'm actually surprised it's in LA and not in Vegas. Like, I think I would feel much more comfortable there if it was in Vegas, just because you're expecting this kind of like, very stylistic replica of a European city.
We would definitely be more inclined to go back if it was in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I would drink more there. We didn't Uber, we drove, so we limited our consumption. Drink responsibly. So you mentioned you didn't really know a lot going in. You were going in cold. Did you go online and look at the menu?
I did look at the menu. That is the one thing that I did look at, though they do not have the drinks menu online, so that was fully going in cold. So I didn't know what to expect there at all.
Yeah, I'm curious why they put the wine list online and the food menu, but not the regular drinks menu.
Maybe part of it because I went on Yelp because I was curious today to see what the drinks menus were that people had posted, and there weren't many, but they were all different. So maybe they are changing the menu kind of often, and either they're switching over right now, or they just don't post them because it changes so much. I actually really liked the beverage menu. They had 4 main sections for their alcoholic cocktails. They had a martini section, a Negroni section, a spritz section, and house section. And house is kind of
the cocktails.
Yeah, whatever ones they wanted to do. There's a margarita, there's an old-fashioned, etc.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool to do these riffs on classic Italian drinks, the spritz, the Negroni. I thought that was perfect for this place, and I really liked my Negroni riff, so that's why we're drinking another Negroni riff tonight.
That's right. I'm seeing more Negroni sections on menus, and that's been really great to see. Because I love Negronis. I think it's the perfect way to start a meal. It's a really good, opens up your palate, gets you hungry.
Yeah. Another thing I liked about the actual menu, they had artworks by an artist in there, which I didn't even realize when we were sitting at the meal. I only realized later when I looked at the pictures we had taken of the meal because it was so freaking dark. I couldn't see anything. So it was nice to be able to enjoy them later.
Some really good non-alcoholic options too. It's really nice to see actual mocktails that are composed drinks. Sometimes you see, a mocktail section and it's one mocktail and then soda and stuff that is boring. This actually had real drinks.
Yeah.
And we ordered one.
Yes.
Which we don't normally do, but...
Now, the one thing I didn't like about this menu, so both the food and the drinks menu is very sparse in terms of description. And especially for drinks, I find that really frustrating. One, because I'm always looking to learn about ingredients and what's in my drink and how they were made. But also because, everyone has certain spirits or liqueurs or something that they don't particularly like. And if you want to stay away from something like, I don't particularly like Kahlua. I find it way too sweet, cloyingly sweet. So I want to know if that's in my cocktail, you know? So it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, the menus, they were going for aesthetic over information. So I don't know how I feel about it.
Well, I am going to go on record as a hater.
Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely a hater of the sparse menu. You want to know everything that's in it.
I don't need a paragraph.
Yeah.
I just want to know what's in there.
I want to talk about the water service because this was a kind of a unique way that they presented it. And I liked it, but I could see how some people would be put off by it. We were offered still sparkling or California's finest when we were offered
LA's finest.
LA's finest. When we were offered LA's finest, I was like, oof, I love LA, but I don't love our tap water. It made me want to get this bottle of water. And then they said the bottled water is a $10 per person unlimited bottled water. And it's Aquapana, which is good water. That's going to run you $8 or $10 a bottle if you order it anyway. So we were just deciding, are we going to drink 2 full bottles worth of Aquapana?
Well, it's not even 2 full bottles. If you drink just more than one, they're going to open a new one.
You have to commit to drinking a whole bottle of this by yourself for it to be worth the spend. Mm-hmm. I drink a lot of water during dinner, a ton, and they're refilling my water constantly. So for me, it's worth it. I'm like, yeah, give me the $10 unlimited. I'm going to definitely get my money's worth. As soon as you told me unlimited, that was like, great. Unlimited bottled water. I might order 1 at dinner and switch to tap if I'm feeling cheap. But now you told me unlimited for $10. I'm going to get my money's worth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt too.
Yeah.
And I don't... God, I feel like such a snob. I don't prefer LA tap water anyway.
No, it's not good. It's not New York tap.
It's not New York tap.
New York tap, specifically Brooklyn tap, is some of the best tap water I've ever had.
Yeah.
Hands down. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm not against this. Like, I have been in that situation where you're with a group of people and, you're at a big meal and it takes a while when you're with a lot of people and you're drinking water as the, meal goes by. And then at the end, you get the bill and they're like, yeah, you got 10 bottles of water.
Yeah.
It's like, what? And they're charging like $15 a bottle.
I hate when that happens.
It's freaking crazy.
It happens all the time. You don't realize it, and they don't tell you, hey, we're opening a new bottle. We're going to charge you for it. They just kind of free pour after that. A lot of restaurants do that. I don't think it's right. I think that...
It's very sneaky.
I like that Alba was kind of, from the beginning, like, you want the bottled water? $10 a person. You can have as much as you want.
Yeah.
I'm kind of for that. I think that I would want more restaurants to do that.
I do think 10 is a little high.
It's a high price to pay for unlimited water.
Yeah.
Once you say it out loud, you're like, $10 per person for water. It sounds very, nickel and dimey. But when you order any bottle of flat water in any restaurant or sparkling water, it's going to be $10. It's going to be $8, even if it's $6. We ordered some cocktails to start our meal. I ordered the Vesper Martini.
They called it a Riviera Vesper.
Yeah.
Which I Googled.
Uh-huh.
No results.
Okay. Yeah, the Riviera Vesper from Alba wasn't really a Vesper. It wasn't really a martini. It was good. And the more I drank it, the more I enjoyed it. It was a sweeter kind of martini. It was very, very strong. It was presented like a Vesper or a martini in a martini glass. Would I order it again? Probably no, only because I don't like super sweet drinks. And this was a tad more sweet than what I prefer. That being said, I think it was a really tasty drink and it was really well made. It was well balanced. It was the proper dilution. Everything about it was good.
I guess my note is on the name of it. First of all, we're getting a little creative with what a martini is in the first place.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, calling it the Vesper is just, I don't think that's really accurate.
No, it wasn't a Vesper at all.
Yeah, you didn't get what you were expecting. Thankfully, it was a good drink, but it wasn't what you were expecting.
I think it goes to the whole, there's not enough description on the menu. So what I ordered Would I have ordered it if I knew all the ingredients? Maybe not. So I guess you got a good point there. Like, maybe it is good to have all the ingredients.
And my favorite thing about it, it was so cold.
Yes, yes.
Nice
properly cold.
Yeah.
And then you had the Negroni riff.
Yes. So this was called the Totti.
Totti. That's a fun name.
Which was Condessa Gin, Clarified Peach, and Lillet Blanc. And I went on a whole quest to find out what the third ingredient was. Mm-hmm. I had to ask multiple people and multiple questions of those people to get to just Lillet Blanc, which was crazy.
Yeah, that could have been so much easier to answer.
Yeah.
Because that's a staple ingredient in a white Negroni.
Weird vibes on that. I thought, maybe it just comes from a place of like, normally people who are asking questions there don't have any knowledge of drinks or how they're made or how Negronis are made, etc.
And there's like a milk punch element to this.
Yeah, which is actually really cool, which is what everyone wanted to talk about when I asked them about this drink. So basically, they make a gin and peach clarified milk punch. And so that's how they infuse the peach flavor into the drink, which is super cool. And then they mix it with the Lillet Blanc, and that's the drink. I thought it had a nice bitter undercurrent to it that I liked, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, I took a few sips of it, and I thought it was delicious. I liked the peach. It was very subtle, albeit a little bit late in the season. Someone said it was one of their seasonal specials, but it's October. It's not really peach season anymore, so there's probably time to change that one. Although it was a good drink.
That is true. The nice thing about milk punch is it's shelf stable.
Yeah, I love milk punch.
So.
And I've never seen a milk punch in a Negroni. I thought that was a really good idea, and it was very subtle. I almost didn't even believe that there was milk punch in it at first.
Yeah. All of these drinks, I have to say, and this is why I'm like, this is a drinking place, they went down very easy. They are built to be thrown back.
Sure. Sure. But for those that don't imbibe, like I said before, there was some really good mocktails on the menu, and we ordered one. I ordered the Lombardi, which is kind of their Phony Negroni. This looked like a Negroni. It looked the part. Like, if you don't drink, but you want to look the part and feel like you're having a cocktail, they've done a very good job of making it look like a cocktail, like a Negroni. And then they've made it taste like if you took an Otter Pop, red flavor, specifically Otter Pop brand, melted it, poured it in a cup over ice, and added a touch of bitterness and an orange peel. That's what it tasted like. It tastes like fruit punch.
Personally, I thought it tasted more like high C.
Oh, interesting. I wasn't really a high C kid growing up. I was definitely more of a Otter Pop Capri Sun. Yeah.
Also great.
This was not Capri Sun, though. This was, to me, it was Otter Pop. It had that flavor. It was good. It was very drinkable.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'd prefer a real Negroni, but we were driving, and I wanted to be responsible, and I had the fake Negroni.
Yeah, it tasted nothing like a Negroni.
No.
But it definitely looked like one.
Yeah. So I think that's okay. I think if you're not drinking, you'd order one. I don't know if you'd order 2 or 3.
Yeah, but the rest of the non-alcoholic menu looked very interesting, and they had 2 non-alcoholic beers.
Yeah.
Peroni and another one.
I like the non-alcoholic beers. They're starting to get better at it. They're starting to actually taste like beers.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
So for my second round, I wanted a nice wine to go with my pasta. So I asked our server about it, and I told her what I wanted. I told her I wanted something definitely on the dry side, but also, can stand up to like the richness of the pastas. And she was like, I got you. Oh, and I told her the rosé and orange wine section.
Yeah, she knew right away.
Yeah,
She's like, oh, I'll have the wine for you.
She was like, I'll bring you a taste. And she did. I was like, yeah, that's great. That's perfect. So it ended up being a Slovenian wine, which is actually a country I've been to.
Nice.
And it was really good. It was a rosé. And it was dry, and it had some personality, held up to the pasta really well. It was a great accompaniment. So massive kudos to her. Nailed it.
Yes, when I tried your wine, it was like, wow, she really nailed that note. I was like, the first thing I noticed was every single thing you told her about what you liked about wine, that wine had.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about this in the drink section or the earlier part about the menu, but the selection of wines by the glass was nice and very robust.
Yeah.
It was like about 4 or so for each section: red, white, bubbles, and rosés and orange.
Yeah.
Great.
I think an Italian restaurant, if you don't have a substantial wine list, you're not doing it right. So they did not make that mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say the food menu at Alba is very prototypical Italian restaurant in LA. Every Italian restaurant in LA seems to have a focaccia on the menu. It's delicious. I don't order it anymore because I'm a bit bored of it. I want other breads. I love ordering unique house-made breads. When I see focaccia on the menu, if I'm with a group, I'm going to order it, but you know, I'm a bit bored with it.
For reference, if anyone would like to check out some more unique breads, I would counsel you to check out our Dunsmore or Alto episodes, where we talk at length about unique breads.
So the menu, there's the focaccia kind of top section. There's some cold appetizers, a couple of crudos, a couple of salads, some hot vegetable sides, and then you have the pasta section, some small pastas, some shareable pastas that are a little bit more larger format, and then the main entrees, which is very, very, I would say, cookie cutter. There's branzino, there's chicken, there's lamb, there's a big steak. This is a very familiar menu. There's nothing that's going to be on here and we're like, oh, I don't know what that is, or I don't know what that ingredient is.
Well, they also won't put it on the menu, so you wouldn't know anyway.
Yeah, they definitely chose to be a little less wordy on the menu, I think, for 2 reasons. The aesthetic of the actual menu, they wanted everything to line up and look just neat and have it be pretty looking. But from a chef's perspective, the less things they put on the menu, the more free reign they have to tweak something or change an ingredient if it comes out of season without having to change out the whole menu or reprint it. If they give you every ingredient and all of a sudden one isn't unavailable, they're going to have to reprint all the menus. It's a lot of work. So putting less gives them a little bit more freedom to not have to do that. They've put the buzzy words on the description to give you like, oh, I want the thing with the truffles, or I want the Wagyu, or whatever.
Yeah, it's very postmodern. Like, this is all that matters.
I think this is typical of this type of restaurant.
Yeah, I agree.
So the first thing we ordered was the squash blossom, which had a lemon porcini mousse. It came with this mayo-y, citrusy, oniony dipping sauce. And the squash blossom was fried and crispy, very, very quintessential fried squash blossom appetizer, I would say. The batter on these squash blossoms was really nice and light. It was really crispy. Everything was very, very well seasoned with this. The mousse itself, I think, was more of a potato mousse. It had lemon, it was citrusy, had the porcini, but it was definitely potato-y in there. It almost tasted like a potato croquette. Like they made a potato croquette, but they put it inside a squash blossom. Mm-hmm. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, I really liked the sauce that came on the side with this. I thought it was perfectly tart to cut that richness of the fry on the outside of the squash blossoms. I really enjoy squash blossoms in general, so I was very thankful that these had a really nice crispness to them. It wasn't too heavy, and I really liked the filling as well.
Yeah, I thought this was a really great start to the meal. I also thought that the portion size for big squash blossoms, 2 per person, was great.
I agree. Any more would be like too much fried food, which was
Yeah.
perfect.
No, it was nice. Nice and light, a little bit greasy to kind of coat you up for the next round of drinks.
So coursed alongside the squash blossoms, we had the shrimp Trapanese, which are spot prawns and Marcona almonds according to the menu. But what it actually is are some shrimps that are cooked on top of a bed of sauce which our server described as a Marcona almond pesto, but in both of our notes we wrote it was more like a romesco sauce. So that might have just been a misspeak on her part. I thought this was fine. I thought the shrimps were overcooked, unfortunately, and the sauce was the best part of it. It was pretty tasty, a little tartness. The shrimp was bland, underseasoned, on top of being overcooked. So, with the sauce, you could kind of hide part of that, but not super enjoyable.
I'm still kind of at odds about the pesto versus romesco thing, because it's not really romesco and it's not really pesto. But it was pesto and it tasted like romesco. I don't know. The sauce kind of tasted like pizza to me. It was like pizza flavors, but with almond nuttiness in the background. And then you're definitely right about the prawns being overcooked. I'm used to eating spot prawns raw, and the amount that they cooked these prawns was too much for me. I think spot prawns are quite delicate, and their flavor and their sweetness diminish the more you cook them. So I probably wouldn't order this again. Thought it was a miss. Not nearly as good as the squash blossom, and a bit sacrilege to cook the spot prawn that much. I think for the price, you get 4 of them. Prawns are expensive, especially spot prawns. I think 4 spot prawns for the price actually seems almost cheap.
It does strike me as a place that would not take the chance of undercooking them. I think most people who are going there are like, I want my fish cooked through.
Yeah, I think that this is something that a lot of people would like, but we wouldn't.
Yeah.
I think a lot, because the server said this is one of their popular dishes. People rave about them. A lot of people that are going to eat this are going to be like, oh my God, it's good. It's almost like hot shrimp cocktail.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
That's like, as far as like how it feels as an appetizer, that's kind of how it feels. It's the hot version of a shrimp cocktail.
I know. I just would have enjoyed a shrimp cocktail more.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So the next thing that we had was the Roman artichokes, which came with this mustard sauce. And these were not executed as well as I've had in the past. They weren't as crisp as they should be. And the way that they were presented, some of them were kind of big and some of them were kind of small. They were all kind of mismatched and misshaped. I just think whoever cleaned these artichokes didn't do a great job. And I always order artichokes at restaurants because I hate cleaning artichokes. It's a huge pain. There's time constraints because of how dark they get. There's just a lot of pins and needles in them. You can get stabbed. If you don't wear gloves, your hands can turn black. Artichokes are just if you clean a big thing of artichokes.
What? Your hands can turn black? I've never had my hands turn black.
Okay. When you're at home cleaning 4 artichokes, it's going to be fine. If you're in a restaurant and you have to do a 20-pound case, sometimes 2, if you do 2 20-pound cases, by the end, you start to get this kind of residue on your fingers. And because artichokes oxidize so quickly, that oxidation starts to happen on your hands.
Oh.
The leftover oils and whatever from the artichoke start to oxidize. So you just have this, it's like I read a newspaper.
Oh my God. That makes sense, but that's crazy.
Yeah. So and I worked at a restaurant where we had an artichoke appetizer on the menu, and I was cleaning artichokes all the time, and I'm shell-shocked from it. But I love ordering artichokes. These were fine. They tasted good because I love the taste of artichokes. I thought the mustard sauce was nice and tart. It said on the menu, bagna cotta. I didn't taste any anchovies. I don't think it was really a bagna cotta, because when we asked someone what's in the sauce, they said it was just mustard, garlic, and olive oil. So it could be that they just forgot to swap the menu, or they changed it.
The first thing I noticed that while it was on actually a very nice plate, I think it was the wrong plate for this dish. The artichokes were kind of just plopped on there. They're all rolling around as they come to the table. Just wasn't a pleasant thing to eat with your eyes before you eat with your mouth.
Yeah.
And then you had just it looked like someone took a handful, picked a handful of mint and just threw it on top. It just like
doesn't
make you want to eat it.
The huge mint leaves. All the time I'm seeing the huge mint leaves. I never like it. I never understand why they do it.
Vlad's nemesis of 2025.
No one wants a huge mint leaf in their mouth.
Well, especially on this dish. Normally, most of the time, because I love mint, I can make an argument for why it's okay. I have no defenses for this one. It just didn't make sense. It's basically a finger food that you're dipping in and putting in your mouth. So I don't know where this mint is really meant to come in with that experience.
Yeah, these were pretty okay. I would order them again because I like artichokes and I don't want to clean the artichokes. And they, as far as the flavor goes, tasted good. And the sauce tasted good. But I've had better.
Yeah.
I think also because of the lighting in the restaurant and how dark it was, it didn't help them along.
That's also true.
But they should be crispier. It's also not artichoke season at all. So the quality of artichokes that they're getting right now versus, in the springtime when it is in season is going to be a lot better. If you order this in the springtime, you're going to have a better artichoke than in October.
Yeah.
So maybe part of it is we should not have ordered them out of season.
But do you think that's on the diner to make those decisions?
I don't think it should be on the diner, but you and I should know better.
So along with the artichokes, we had the Ravioli Fornografia.
Love that name.
I mean, that just means pornographic, right?
I mean, that's why we ordered it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's porno ravioli.
So the marketing worked.
Absolutely.
And on the menu, there are 2 words to describe it. And actually, for this one...
Yeah, they nailed it.
This is fine. So it's mozzarella and balsamico.
Balsamico.
And then obviously the name of it is ravioli. So it's ravioli. What I didn't know it was going to be is these like very tall raviolis.
They were a little comical.
Because they put these huge chunks, like cubes of mozzarella inside.
Yeah, it was aggressive.
And then they bake them. These things were crazy. Mm-hmm. I did like them. They were so heavy and so rich. I could only eat one. Mm-hmm. I can't believe you ate the other one. There were only 4 with the order. So I ate one. Vlad ate 3, which I was like, wow. Because they were so much.
Yeah.
And today when I looked back at the description and I saw balsamico on the menu, I was shocked. Because, again, dark in the restaurant. I knew there was something dark on it, but I couldn't tell what.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was balsamic on there. And it kind of didn't do anything. It was like maybe a little bit sweet. I think for this dish to bring it to any kind of level that's above just like, tasty cheese, it would need to have a little bit more tartness, a little bit more bite. Just to balance that out would have been really nice.
I did not plan on eating all 3. I planned on eating 2. And my feeling on this dish was I hated it and I can eat 30. I just don't like the idea of that amount of mozzarella in a single ravioli is so aggressive. And they put olive oil on there too, so the balsamic didn't actually stick to the ravioli dough. And what I was doing was cutting it into quarters and dipping it in the balsamic to kind of cut the richness.
That was smart.
But I almost would prefer like a marinara and eat it like a mozzarella stick. It felt like a mozzarella stick.
That's exactly what I put. That would have been even better.
But I can eat 30. They were addictive. They were good. They tasted good. They were crispy on the outside. The mozzarella was perfectly melty and gooey. I don't get as affected by things that are super rich the way you do. I can eat a lot of rich food. So for me, I'm like, oh yeah, I could eat a whole plate of these.
This feels like a heart attack on a plate. I can't believe they put more fat on top of it after there's so much cheese and fat inside.
Yeah.
That seemed excessive.
I have no argument against that, and it's part of the reason why I hated all of it. But if you put a plate of them in front of me, I'm eating all of them. They were addictively delicious.
They were pretty good.
If you're with a group, I'm ordering these. If I'm drinking and I'm, wanting to get a good base, this is a great option.
Yeah.
If you like cheese, and like, who doesn't like cheese other than lactose intolerant people?
And those people are sad anyway. Trust me, I know a lot of them, and they're always sad when they can't have dairy. So
yeah, some of them do it anyway. They don't care.
Oh yeah,
I would be one of those people.
Totally, 100%.
If I was, I'd be lactate pills all day. So the lasagna, we ordered it because we asked the server, "What's your favorite thing on the menu?" And she said her favorite pasta was the lasagna.
And let me just say, normally I would not ask that question, but this lady seemed so well versed in this menu, in serverdom in general. I was like, I trust her.
Yeah. So the lasagna came with, it was a corn and chanterelle lasagna. It was not a traditional lasagna. So I love ordering a lasagna, especially a different type of lasagna, and this was very heavy. It tasted like a tamale almost with the corn, and the mushrooms were fine, but I don't think there were all that many chanterelles in it. There were other mushrooms in it as well. So I don't really know how I feel about it. It was good, and I ate it, and I had the leftovers, and the leftovers were good, and the pasta itself was really nice in this lasagna. It was thin and a lot of layers. It didn't wow me. Like, I didn't hate it. I liked it. I ate it. It was good. It wasn't my favorite lasagna I've ever had. I like corn and mushrooms and ricotta and all that combination of flavors. But there was just something missing.
Yeah, I definitely like the idea of this dish more than the actual dish. Mm-hmm. I thought the corn kernels, they were whole and they were kind of mixed throughout. I thought they just didn't work, bursting in your mouth as you're eating this actually very smooth and unctuous lasagna that was with it. And so it was just kind of jarring when you would get one of those. Kind of didn't really seem to go with this dish.
Yeah, I almost would have loved to see a corn cream or a corn sauce on the bottom that they put the lasagna on top of. It was just a little dry. I think with a lasagna like that isn't going to have a red sauce, give me some sort of creamy, cheesy something to help me wash it down.
Yeah, and bringing up the red sauce also is pertinent because I think part of what we're missing is that balance, a little bit of tartness. It doesn't have to be a red sauce at all.
No.
But just something just to put that element in there.
Yeah, something to liven it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It was very muted.
Even something with lime, something crazy like that could work.
Yeah. And then you're venturing into it tastes like elote, which I don't think they were going for.
I do think that this dish was probably the most creative thing they had on the menu.
Yeah.
And I did appreciate that they had one thing that was kind of swinging.
Yeah. I think that's what attracted me to wanting it was this doesn't sound like the other things. We were between that and the orecchiette arrabbiata. Mm-hmm. And that's a large format. I guess it's like $60. It's a huge bowl of pasta, and it's just the two of us. So if you're with a big group, that's definitely the move. But for us two, we wanted to try a little bit smaller portion. I think for a vegetarian dish, this was quite nice.
Yeah.
I think if you're a vegetarian coming to this restaurant, this is a good entree. It's going to fill you up, and you're going to have some corn and mushroom. It's a good flavor profile. Mm-hmm. For me, it was a miss, but I think it's a good thing to have on the menu.
Our last main was the Agnolotti, which, according to the menu, was black truffle fonduta, and also, I am adding, there was also caramelized onion inside.
The caramelized onion was part of the filling, and the fonduta was inside the filling as well. There wasn't a fonduta on the outside. It was a butter sauce, very like pasta water butter type of sauce, very classic with Italian cooking. But that had the truffles in it. So the fonduta was part of the caramelized onion filling. It was a lot of caramelized onion.
It was a lot of caramelized onion. It was too sweet. There was no balance there, unfortunately. I actually did like the flavor overall, even though I do have notes on most of the elements of this dish.
Yeah.
I felt the pasta dough itself was too thin, so it just was almost mush along with the filling. It just couldn't stand up to it. And I do enjoy a more al dente pasta rather than more cooked, so that was a little bit disappointing. The sauce was fine. We have had this sauce in a much better version, so, it could be better. It was fine.
I couldn't tell because of how dark it was, but the sauce looked a little broken.
Okay, yeah, I do think it was a bit.
If this is more properly made, it would be a little bit thicker and coat the pasta a little bit better. And I think it was a little bit more loose than it should have been. The truffle, this was canned truffle, sliced canned truffle, which I don't personally prefer, although I'll take it over truffle oil and fake truffle salt and all of that kind of stuff. This is at least real truffle.
That's the thing. I'm so traumatized from the fake stuff. I'm like, if it's real, I'll take it.
It's real, and the price point of this agnolotti kind of explains why they're using the canned stuff versus the fresh stuff. It's also not truffle season quite yet. The winter truffles are not quite there yet in October, so I imagine they might have a little bit of an option when those come in the season where you can get some shaved on there fresh, and that would be nice.
Yeah.
But for under $30, you're not getting no freshly shaved truffles on something.
Yeah.
That's just the, name of the game.
Yeah.
The pasta was good. Like, the actual dough was good. I do agree that it was a bit thin and a little bit soft, and with any kind of stuffed pasta, the softness kind of comes through a little bit more. So I think it's okay to go a little bit thicker on an agnolotti or a ravioli or any kind of dough like that. It holds up better. So they could have gone a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
I don't think that they overcooked the pasta. I think it was just the thinness of the pasta itself, because you got to get the filling to a hot enough point.
Good point, yeah.
I always order agnolotti on menus because it's my favorite pasta to make. I love making agnolotti. It's rewarding, and I think it's on a lot of Italian restaurant menus because it's really easy to make a bunch of them quickly versus ravioli or like tortellini. You have to make one at a time by hand. Versus agnolotti, you can make like 10 or 20 in a line and just like cut them all. And I think that overall this was a good pasta dish. I think anyone that orders it is going to enjoy it, but certainly not the best that it could be.
Yeah. Flavor wise, take down the caramelized onion a little bit.
Yeah.
This would be quite a good dish.
I would say I would order this again with a group.
I think I just want to try something new.
Well, if you or me are going back, we're not going to order it again. We're going to try new stuff. But if you're going with a group, it's a crowd pleaser. So the dessert menu, there is no dessert menu. It's verbally given to you. There's 5 desserts. There's a pavlova, a mousse, a granita, a semifreddo, and a semolina cake, which is what we had. And I think the semolina cake is probably their signature dessert. It's what is kind of recommended to you. It is phyllo dough with this semolina cake pudding filling stuff. It was very creamy. It wasn't cake. Cake is not really the right word to describe this. It's a big square. It's got some strawberry compote on the top of it, crispy phyllo on top, but really gooey, unctuous filling. I thought this was really, really tasty, really, really good dessert. big.
Huge.
Big portion.
You could share this with 3 to 4 people.
Yeah, it definitely, I would say, even like for us, we're like, this is too big for 2 people. It's perfect for 4 people. And it's quite rich and quite filling, but very tasty. I could see why this is their signature. I would order it again. It was delicious.
This was probably my favorite thing of the night.
That's not surprising.
Yeah. I do have a huge sweet tooth.
Yeah.
I'm sweet, you're salty. It's fine. That's just the way we are.
Yin and yang. That's why we work.
It kind of tasted like a super gooey French toast.
I could see that.
Which I'm not mad at. You know, you have the interior that's like really nice and gooey. And then you have the exterior is the phyllo dough, which, you know, they put it all in the oven together. And it gets a little bit roasty, a little bit charred almost.
Yeah.
So, like, that's almost like what you get on a skillet when you're, like, cooking the French toast. So it kind of has those kind of, like, taste vibes to it.
Yeah.
Then you put strawberries on top. Classic French toast. You know?
I don't have a whole lot of negative things to say about this. I think I would have preferred a fork to a spoon. They give us a spoon.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
A fork and maybe also a knife, because the phyllo dough, when it gets a little wet.
Yeah, on the bottom.
When it gets a little wet, it's very hard to separate it with just a spoon.
Yeah. Yeah, the top one gets nice and crisp, and you can cut through that with the spoon pretty well. The bottom one was very, like, you needed a knife or a fork to just, you know, felt like I was scraping at the plate a bunch to try to get to the bottom.
And I thought the phyllo dough was a really nice element to it. It felt very Mediterranean. Obviously, it's not Italian, but neighbors, you know. So
Sure.
Now, with this dessert, I always like to test if places have decaf, just because I like to know. And then it feels wrong not to order it if they say yes.
Yeah.
So I got a decaf espresso. I'm actually glad I did, because it is one of the poorer espressos I've had in this city.
Yeah.
Very sadly, I was expecting, you know, it's an Italian place, Italy known for coffee, and it was sour and it was grainy and just not an enjoyable espresso.
We make our own espresso at home. We have an espresso machine, so we like to think we know what we're talking about when it comes to coffee. We're by no means experts, but this definitely didn't taste as good as what we make at home.
Yeah, and you know, some people might be saying, oh, well, it's because it's decaf. It's the same process. It is the same machine. It's the same everything. Like, if you can make a regular espresso well, you can make a regular decaf espresso well. Look, we have a manual espresso machine. There's a lot of settings on it, and it's easy to get it wrong. However, for a place like this, they should have, A, figured it out, and B, trained whoever's going to be using it to use it correctly.
Okay, so that was our meal. That's everything that we had. Now we're going to talk about the service, and I thought the service was really good. I thought our server was a pro. She was a veteran. Everything was very well rehearsed and quick. When she gave us the menu breakdown, it was like a 2-minute drill. You had to be locked in. You had to be paying attention. She was going 50 miles an hour, lightning speed, telling us all of the questions that anyone has ever asked her about this menu. She's just answering them off the bat.
But that's the thing with this sparse menu.
Yeah.
She has to do that.
Yeah.
They all have to do that. And I do feel like it's kind of wasting her time, you know? Like, she's got all these tables to go to. Like, that shouldn't be her job.
She did a good job of it.
She did a great job. She did a great job.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of words on the menu that are in Italian. And some people, you know, we're from Jersey, we're from New York. We know what a lot of these words mean. But if you're from LA, you might not.
We did have a lot of things woman-splained to us.
Yeah, it was definitely a mansplaining for sure. But, you know. This menu does require a lot of questions because of the sparse descriptions, because of the different words that you might not know. So she's going to have to be answering a lot of questions, and she's probably tired of answering those questions.
Yeah.
So the faster she does this, the faster she can move on to taking care of the next table.
Right.
But overall, throughout the meal, the pacing was great. It was coursed nicely. We ordered 6 things. It was like 2, 2, 2. And they cleared our plates in between each course. I hate when they don't clear the plates and you're just like, dirty plates, new food, mixing flavors. You got to clear plates. And they did it a few times, and they did it very efficiently. And the food came out very shortly after the plates were cleared. So it seems that the team and the kitchen are very, very in sync. They're probably telling them, like, hey, the order's coming up, go clear the table. They did a good job.
I am going to bring something up that I'm going to preface by saying it does not affect my rating of this restaurant. Mm-hmm. But it is something that I think people will pick up on and should know before going to this restaurant. Mm-hmm. I felt very much like this was a machine and we were just part of the machine. And a part of that was, it was just felt very impersonal. It was very quick. It was very, this is my standard spiel that I'm giving you, and I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you the whole thing, and then I'm going to get out of here.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like the service team was really enthusiastic about the food. They were knowledgeable, very knowledgeable. But I didn't feel any personal connection to the food or, frankly, any interest or much interest in the food. And that was something that I personally, as a diner, value.
Yeah.
And when I do get that, I think it's just lovely and wonderful. And it elevates my enjoyment of the meal. And I do feel like I miss that when it's not an element of the service. But I do not think it has to be. This is not that kind of place.
Yeah.
This is not that kind of food-centered place that, like, it's all about the ingredients.
Right. There's not a whole lot to sell here as far as the food in the menu is concerned. They're just giving you the information. I do agree it didn't feel all that personal. It's not what the place is about.
Yeah.
You go there for the looks and the people watching and who you might see. This is definitely a celeb kind of spot, very LA, glitz and glam, and the food is there and it's decent, but it's not why you're coming.
Yeah, there are better versions of every single one of these dishes at other places in Los Angeles. Like, you can find a better version of every single one.
I agree. Nothing was bad.
Yeah.
Nothing was bad, but I thought that the drinks were really great. I thought that the food was fine. The ambiance, I thought, was really cool, and the fun reason to be there. If this is the type of place you want to go to, you're going to be pretty happy with the overall ambiance.
And it's crazy big. They have 120 seats.
They also have some private dining room space above, and I'm sure there's a few hideaways for the big name celebrities if they want to not be seen.
Oh, yeah. They get to go to the upper room and look down on all us plebes.
Yeah.
And so they have the private room, but they also have a private bar up there.
Oh.
So you can rent that out. Like, you can just rent that out
cool.
for events. And it actually looked really nice.
This would be a cool, wedding reception for a smaller wedding.
Yeah.
I could totally see this place being used for, a company buys it out and has their Christmas party there, or that's that kind of place.
And that would be great.
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But there's a few restaurants in town that have pretty much the same program as Alba, have a very similar looking menu and approach, and a place where you want to be seen and be part of the glitterati.
I think we're just not the target crowd for this place. I think it's great if you're hitting this up to get a base before you go out drinking in West Hollywood. I think it's great if you're trying to impress a date or something like that. A birthday in one of those cabanas would be lots of fun. Probably also hit the bars after that.
Sure.
Or if you're visiting and you want a chance maybe seeing a celebrity,
Yeah.
However, I will say the most celebrities I've seen have been at local spots. I've seen one at the AMC. I saw Christian Bale at the AMC. I saw Natalie Portman just walking down the street. You know,
Well, they're out there living their lives.
that's the thing. I think you're just as likely to come to LA and see someone randomly.
Well, I think it depends on the type of celebrity you want to run into. If you want to like try to run into the Kardashians or something like that, that's like what this place kind of is.
That's true. That's true.
If you're looking for that scene, there are better restaurants, but in West Hollywood, this is kind of a central location. I thought it was a really cool dining room and a really cool buzzy energy. I like the courtyard look. It was for me. With that being said, do you want to give the audience our verdict?
So for Alba in West Hollywood, we give them 2 taste buds.
There were definitely some misses tonight, but there were some things that were really awesome about the restaurant. I think Alba is a really great place. If you're going to be going out in West Hollywood, make this your first stop of the night, but not your only stop of the night. Have an appetizer, have a drink, get to have a few laughs, and take in the scenery.
Yeah, I think this place fills a specific need, and that's what they do best. And if you're in that target demographic that they're going for, you're going to enjoy it. And if you're not, maybe skip it.
Yeah. So I guess usually we give 2 taste buds if you're in the neighborhood. You should go. I think for this, it's not necessarily the neighborhood, but if you're in the market for a restaurant like this, you should go.
All right, you guys. That's it for this week's episode of Aftertaste LA. Alba in West Hollywood, 2 taste buds.
Let us know in the comments if there's anywhere else you want us to go check out.
Thanks, guys.
Until next time.
Bye.